Your Honor, everyone's present and ready.
All righty. Have you loaded up the documents?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And at this time, the court will come to order. We're calling cases number 652-362, 652-363, 656-191, and 655-720. State of Texas versus Jesse Gerardo Perales. Are you Jesse Gerardo Perales?
But it says on paper, Your Honor, correct?
And you are the same Jesse Gerardo Perales who was charged with a violation of the law under the 4 case numbers that I just recited?
That is correct.
All right. It's my understanding that there's been an agreement reached between the defense and the state. Mr. Edelman?
That is correct, sir.
All righty. Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okie doke. It is further my understanding that there's going to be a plea to one of the charges, and the other 2 will be, the other 3 will be disposed of in accordance with your agreement. Is that correct?
That is also correct, sir.
All
Yes.
right. That presumes that Mr. Perales will enter a plea or answer questions. Mr. Perales, would you please raise your right hand? You have to unmute too. You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, you will true answers give, so help you God.
So help me God.
All right, put your hand down, sir. Now, a little unusual, there's no big background noise where you're at, Mr. Perales. Before I proceed, I need to ask you a series of questions. Most of them are going to be, we're going to discuss them orally, but then after that, we're going to probably repeat most of them 2 or 3 times. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, all of the documents that you're going to be shown will be in reference to case number 656191.
Okay.
What is the charge on that matter? Is that burglary of a vehicle?
Yes, sir.
All right. You will notice that in all the documents we'll be dealing with, they will, with one exception, they will be started off at the top with the basic information, and it will be repeated. At the top, it states cause number 656191, state of Texas versus Jesse Perales. Am I to presume that is also you are known as Jesse Gerardo Perales?
That is correct.
All right. Then it states the state of Texas versus Jesse Perales in County Court down number 5, Bexar County, Texas. That is a repetitious thing that we'll see. Now, you and the state both have the right to demand that this proceeding be held in open public court. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not having open public court. So since you have the right to demand that, instead we're doing it by video conference, and it is being shown on YouTube. It makes it a public proceeding, but it is nonetheless does not comply with the public courtroom. Do you understand that you have the right to demand this matter be held in a public courtroom?
I fully understand, Your Honor.
Good. The state in the document being shown to you, the document is titled State's Consent to Video Conference. The titles will be all bold and all capital print. This one is the one for the state. Says I mentioned a moment ago that the state has the same right to demand public hearings. However, they have waived the right, as have you. And Mr. Edelman has signed it on behalf of the state of Texas. The second document is titled Discovery Acknowledgement. Again, the repetition of the introductory information at the top. This document says that the state and defense agree and acknowledge that the state has complied with the law that's called Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. This document attests that the state has presented and made available to you and your attorney all the evidence and materials and documents that are required by law, but further that they are those materials that allow you to make a reasonable and informed decision. They bear the signatures of Mr. Edelman and of your attorney, Ms. Gonzalez. Then we're going to have the next document is the written consent to the video conference. Do you see it and did you sign it?
I did see it, sir, and it is signed.
All right. The following document, again for case number 656191. This called the defendant's waiver of constitutional rights and court's admonitions. Did you review this document carefully?
I reviewed it, Your Honor, and as I was instructed by my attorney also.
All right.
And I'm pleading no contest to.
I understand. I'm going to proceed with this document one at a time.
Yes, sir.
This one, this particular document, as I said, has the introductory information. It's titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. It starts off with 3 sentences. The first sentence tells me, it says, I, Jesse Perales, and it tells me that you don't need me to read to you the official document that accused you of the crime of burglary of a vehicle. In fact, in the second sentence, it says that you understand that the charge against you is burglary of a vehicle, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Then the third sentence says that I hereby enter a plea of nolo contendere to the charge of burglary of a vehicle. Is that true? Mr. Perales, you're muted.
That is correct, Your Honor, and I'm very sorry. I was helping the gentleman next door as well as I couldn't multitask. But yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
That is correct.
I suggest you want to provide complete focus on these documents right now.
I have
No.
a very good attorney. She has instructed me, and I also have read them before
Very good.
coming before you, Your Honor. I fully understand.
This document that I'm talking about here in front of you, after the first 3 declarations, the separate sentences, it is divided into 15 sections or divisions. Each one is numbered 1 through 15. Number 1 is the range of punishment.
Correct.
There's a check mark in a little box next to the one that says Class A. Did you see the range of punishment for the Class A in a crime that you committed?
Yes, sir. It's going to be up until 1 year or within that process, and it's my awareness that or I'm aware that it's going to be the 77 of days, and I really.
Well, you're not listening to me now. You need to listen specifically to what I'm asking you. Did
I am
you see-
aware that it's going to be up until 1 year, sir, and it's a $4,000 fine.
There you go. Number 2 repeats in writing the specific rights of the right to a jury trial, cross-examination of witnesses, and the right to remain silent. Are you freely and voluntarily giving up those rights?
Yes, sir. Underneath the plea, yes, sir.
Okay, number 3, have you ever suffered from any kind of mental problems or issues?
No,
Have you ever been given or taken any type of medication for mental issues or problems?
diagnosed, never taken any kind of medication whatsoever.
Right, and for the record, you're not under any kind of medication at this time, is that correct?
Nothing whatsoever, sir. Never have been.
All right, did you understand that the nolo contendere for one is taken by this court as a guilty plea?
No contest, I guess, / guilty, if that's what it pertains. From the no contest of a rule, it's going to be not admitting to the guilt, but kind of in that statute. That's what I'm aware of.
Let me just repeat this. A nolo contendere plea by
Mhm.
this court is taken as a guilty plea.
Okay.
And number 4 specifically says that you understand and that what I have just said, but mainly it says that uh, you have looked over the evidence and information and listened to your attorney, and you believe ultimately is in your best interest to plead no contest.
Yes, sir. That is going to be correct. I have come into the greater realization that in my best interest, so we can just get this and put this behind, it's going to be to the best possible of an event.
All right. Have you ever been involved with or been a part of the sex offender registration program?
No, sir. Never planned on being such.
All right. Number 6, uh, did you read that one closely with your attorney? Do you understand it?
Yes.
All right. Where were you born, Mr. Perales?
As once more mentioned as before on paper of Floyd Coral Drive at the University Hospital, San Antonio, Texas.
All right. That makes you a U.S. citizen, and I'll so note that on the file and on the record.
Yes, sir.
9 and 10 don't apply to you,
Mhm.
nor does number 11 and 12. Number 15 particularly, by signing this document, you're telling me that you are waiving the right to require me to have a risk and needs assessment performed on you.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you have signed the document.
Yes. It says the defendant's signature here. I'm typing in it, but it doesn't have an actual window for me to sign it, which I will sign if it actually had the availability for me to do so. The pertaining the other documents have already been signed.
All righty. Go make sure that you get that one signed.
Okay.
The next document that you're being shown is my certification to you concerning your right of appeal.
Mhm.
There are a stack of vertical little boxes next to you concerning your right of appeal. The 5th box says, and I certify that this is a plea bargain case and the defendant has no right of appeal. An appeal is a right for you yourself or your attorney alone or the two of you working together to demand that a higher court review the official record in this proceeding and the evidence for whatever challenge you would want to make. Because you're entering into a plea agreement, part of the agreement is that you're waiving the right to make that appeal. Do you understand that?
Fully understand, Your Honor.
I said, do you understand that?
And as I mentioned to you, fully understand, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Okay. The next document is going to be called a plea agreement.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Patty. I couldn't read it at first. This document is a little bit different from the others in that it doesn't refer to the court, but it does identify you and the case number. I will be marking the first 2 boxes. The first one talks about your right to remain silent, that it's been discussed and explained to you. The second box says you are a U.S. citizen. Then the next section is titled Defendant's Acknowledgements. There are 5 vertical boxes. Each one is checked off by you and or your attorney.
Mhm.
It talks about the rights and the constitutional protections that you are waiving by participating in this proceeding. Did you mark those? Did you understand what it said?
I did not mark them. They're marked already, but I do understand and I fully understand what they say.
And you
I'm in
agree?
agreement.
All right. There's a mark here now on what they call non-DWI allegations. It's merely marking and indicating that this is a burglary vehicle charge. Then the plea, in this particular instance, what is your plea officially?
No contest.
All right. Based on your plea of no contest, I find that you're guilty of the charge. You're ordered to appear within 7 days at the court or the documents themselves presented to you by the sheriff's office. I'm not sure which one they're going to do, but you're required to have your thumbprint placed on the documents, the judgment and documents in this proceeding. Do you understand that?
Okay, so bear with me, Your Honor. I'm going to have the time that I'm going to be here, which is going to be the 77 days pertaining to the actual agreement that we have here, and then I'm going to have to go back to court to put my thumbprint.
Right. Now, that's, are you going to remain there to jail or are you going to be released? Do you know?
I'm going to be released.
Well,
Right.
Your Honor, may I interject? In accordance to our plea agreement, it's 75 days, and there actually may be a couple of days left over. Since he is going to be in Bexar County Jail for those couple of days, will the sheriff's office be able to go over there and take his thumbprint over there?
I think that'll be better.
Patricia, can you answer that?
Usually the clerks, if he signed the paperwork or was able to sign the paperwork right now, the clerks will contact the officers there and try and get his thumbprint.
I'm
Okay.
only asking because that would be easiest, since one, he is going to be in Bexar County for a couple more days, and two, my client is homeless. And with that, he does have transportation issues. So returning back down to the courthouse during business hours will be problematic for him.
I understand.
And Your Honor, even if it's not feasible for me to do it here, you can count on me
I
to
think-
go to the courthouse. So,
I think listening to a coordinator, I'm pretty certain that it can be done that way, that the
Yeah.
papers will be signed by you and the thumbprint
I understand, sir.
for you.
Either or,
Right.
I will make it down there. I will continue. I will comply.
All right, based on your plea, I find you guilty. And the sentence, I approve the sentence agreement. You are sentenced to 75 days in Bexar County Jail. 0 fine, court cost. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrently.
Okay.
The court takes in consideration and dismisses case number 655-720, 652-362, and 652-363. Questions, Mr. Ailman?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. I will present dismissal forms for the court to sign and carbon copy Ms. Gonzalez on all of them.
Thank you.
Ms. Gonzalez,
Thank
any
you.
questions?
No questions. I should be good.
Very good. And Mr. Perales, any questions?
No, just thank you for each and every one of your time.
All righty. Then that'll conclude this proceeding.
Judge, if
Mr.